Hello guys, in the last video we completed the discussion on gas gangrene. Now in this video we shall discuss about the lab diagnosis and treatment of gas gangrene. So let's get started. Lab diagnosis of Clostridium perfringens. Why Clostridium perfringens? Because they are the majority of the cases are due to Clostridium perfringens. So lab diagnosis of Clostridium perfringens. Then we will discuss about the treatment of the gas gangrene. Okay. So gas gangrene or Clostridium perfringens infection, that is anaerobic myocystis, should be primarily detected on clinical basis, while the bacteriological investigation will differentiate between anaerobic streptococcal myocystis and gas gangrene. And how does it differentiate? We shall discuss now. So in case of lab diagnosis, first point is primary. Okay, I like the primary diagnosis, or you can write over here Clostridium perfringens or gas gangrene also you can include. Okay, don't get confused. Primary diagnosis should be done on the basis of should be done on clinical basis. Okay, and bacteriological investigation differentiates between anaerobic streptococcal myocystis and gas gangrene. So let's write in a comparative way that how does it differentiates, how does it helps to differentiate in between these, which is not possible on the clinical basis. You cannot differentiate whether it is due to streptococcal or due to Clostridium perfringens. So you need bacteriological investigation for that, and how we will find that? For first you can write streptococcal myocystis. I guess it is not, if not visible, I'll add to the next marker. Streptococcal myocystis and gas gangrene. Okay. So this is on the basis of the smears observed. When you observe the smears in streptococcal myocystis, you will find large number of cocci and pus cells. You will find large number of cocci and pus cells while examining the smears, while observing the smears. Okay, smears. But in case of gas gangrene, there are scanty pus cells. In case of streptococcal myocystis, large number of cocci along with pus cells, but no bacilli. But in case of gas gangrene, scanty pus cells. You will find scanty pus cells, but there is diverse microbial flora. Diverse Okay, in case of gas gangrene. So this is the major differentiating point which is done on the basis of bacteriological investigation. Okay, so from where should the samples be collected? So we'll write over here the samples. Okay, the specimens should be collected from the edge of the skin rather than the center. Sorry, not edge of the skin, edge of the affected muscle. I got confused a bit. Edge of the affected muscle exudate from deeper tissues and the area where the infection is most active. Okay, these are the places, areas from where the specimens should be collected. So after collecting the specimens, what are the next procedure? So now you look for demonstrating Clostridium perfringens. So while discussing about cultural characters, we discussed about some of the characters of Clostridium perfringens. They include target hemolysis and litmus milk. These two will also can be used while for the demonstration of Clostridium perfringens. So we shall see that in the next video, which methods should be used for the demonstration of Clostridium perfringens and the treatment part.